What's good, everybody, man? Welcome back to episode 2 of the halftime show with your boy Courtlandt Griffin. Hey, man, I'm glad to be back. It's the second week, second time we're doing this, man. I got some special guests. We're talking NBA today with my boy Lynn, the sports reporter without pay. This has been a long time coming, man. I connected with this guy many a times. He's been on many a live streams. I've been in the comments. I'll be in the comments. He's done many a live video talking about any topic, anything. And he's finally joining me tonight on my show. Also, man, peep the hat. Peep the hat. New drip, new drip, new drip, new drip, new drip. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all will see this around. See me with more. I'm trying to do this. Like, I'm trying to get these in more colors. So, man, the more y'all watch, the more I can do this, bring y'all more sports content. So let's see if let's see if Ray is ready. Like I said, man, we're talking NBA tonight. So yeah, so I'm gonna bring my man's onto the show. My man's a sports reporter. Pay. What's up, Ray?
Hey, bro, I got new drip too.
Oh, hey, you know what? Hey, I need you to send me one of those.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I got drip too, bro.
I need you to send me one of those for sure. I need one of those. But yeah, man. So hey, like I said, man. This is one of the dudes, man. Like every Facebook live he was on, every show he was on, I was in the comments. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's not too many people that I resonate with when they talk sports, and this dude is one of them. He's really pushed me. Met in Atlanta. Finally got to meet him in person in Atlanta at this Black Sports
Thanks.
Symposium. We're gonna can you give a quick spill on that, Ray? Just, I know you talked about it before. Can you give a quick spill before we get into the actual topic of the show?
On the symposium,
Yeah, for sure.
man.
On the
Listen,
symposium.
shout out to Black Sports Business. Shout out to ESPN, man. They put that thing down. Somebody was just saying last night, man, if those guys had charged $1,000 for that, it still wouldn't have been enough. It was an amazing experience, man. Basically, the way I explained it to people, man, they put something together for young Black people who aspire to be in this lane, whether it be and people think it was just about journalism. It wasn't. Journalism, writers, sports media, but then you had coaches there, GMs, players, scouts, agents, like the whole nine. Any lane that you want to be in the sports business, it was something there for you. I got to sit in on Eric Thomas. I got to sit in on Deion Sanders, the lady who's the GM for the Bucks. It was just phenomenal, man. You was there, you know what I'm saying? You saw what it was. And then getting the link with you guys, man, guys that we've interacted over and over, over this blue app, you know what I'm saying? But then we got the chance to really kick it, man. So it was dope all together, man.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, y'all, like, this is one of the dudes, man. As soon as he seen me, everybody hopped on me. They was like, "Hey, bro, you way too talented, and you be all you support all of us, and you ain't got nothing to support." So that's the reason why the halftime show is now being brought to y'all, man. And like I said, I appreciate you, Ray, for coming on the show. So let's get into this NBA talk, man. Like, it feels like summer madness again. We talk about summer league, man. Like, we had some dudes in the summer league. I know it's just summer league, and these are rookies and G League guys, but you had guys like the Warriors. Guy Lopez dropped 23 points in his opener. Scottie Pippen Jr., man, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. The Kings rookie Keegan Murray, he dropped 26 and 8 rebounds. And then we just saw the second overall pick, Chet Holmgren, go off like in the first half of 18. Then I think he ended the game with 23, 4 blocks and a couple of assists. I think he had like 8 rebounds, something like that. Man, can you give us what was your insight on what you've seen in the summer league so far?
If I'm being 100% honest, bro, like summer league for me is kind of like, yeah, or whatever. Like, it's like show me for real. You know what I mean? Like, it's some guys that have played. There's some guys that have played in summer league, and you thought they were the next coming. Like, I never forget, bro, because I was in Vegas when it happened, and I was like, yo, I'm tempted to go over there. I was there for a bowling tournament. I was like, I'm tempted to go over and catch a game. And Kyle Kuzma was killing it. You hear me? Like, he was killing it.
I remember that.
And then, he had an okay rookie year, right? But like, guys kill all the time in summer league, man, because it's like, one is like rec league, and then two, if you were dominant in college or if you were very good in college, right? Summer league is going to be a lot of the same. It's going to be a lot of guys at your level, right? It's when you get to that next level and everybody's bigger, stronger, and faster than you. Like, when you're one of one, right? When you're in college, and then you get to the league and you're one of everybody, like everybody's good. So like I don't put too much stock into summer league performances. If you're a fan of a player, obviously you want to see them do well, but I don't never look at that and gauge it as like that's a barometer for what we're going to see from that person in the pros. Like I don't think Chet's gonna be that good. That's just me. Like I don't think he's gonna be that good. So to see him go on a summer league game and sort of not dominate but play that well, it's like we'll see. Scottie Pippen, like as a Lakers fan, like I hope he fans out, right? Like, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't put too much stock in these summer league games, man.
I'm gonna say this, right? Like when I see these guys, I just want to see what they look like against some guys that are going to be in the NBA, right? Like even to G League guys, we saw Jalen Green go from the Ignite and then come to the league and actually do pretty well. He didn't come to the league and take it by storm, but he did pretty well for a guy in his rookie season coming playing G League ball. Then you get a guy like Chet Holmgren, who people said, well, he don't have the body. Now he did get beat up by Kenny Lofton Jr. with Memphis, but that dude is already 6'7", 275. So it ain't too many dudes that's gonna stand in front of that and take him on. And he just put his shoulder in Chet's chest and took him and put him under the basket. So when I look at it, I kind of see this kind of coming of age. Like I want to see like what can you do? Like I don't need you to come into some league and drop 60 points. I just want to see, can you come in and shoot from NBA range? Can you come in and at least get your shot? Like, is the scouting report right, or were we completely off? And we've seen guys come in and be completely off, and then we've seen some guys come in, like you said, and show us this flash of amazing greatness, and then get to the league and a la Ben Simmons shooting the lights
Mac
out.
McClung. Yeah, hello,
Hey,
Mac McClung.
Ben Simmons shooting the lights out in summer league, and then gets to the NBA and doesn't take another shot, another jump shot, and just acts like he's scared of it. So
now you got Philly fans super mad at you right now for bringing that up about this man not shooting.
I don't care. I'm gonna tell the truth. So but moving on, man, staying with the NBA, man, we're gonna talk about some veterans, man. We're gonna talk about these dudes with these max contracts, man, these max extensions. So Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Nikola Jokic all got max deals. And then John Morant and Darius Garland, both they got max rookie extensions as well. I won't be surprised if there's some other guys that are going to get extended and sign some pretty big contracts. But from what you've seen with the contracts, what would you say? Like, who would you say deserved it the most, and who would you say probably you had some skepticism?
Everybody you said, I had no problems with it, right? Because I think people get caught up on the dollar amount. It is what it is, man. These guys are making a crazy amount of money right now, right? Nikola Jokic is the two-time reigning MVP. How can anybody say he doesn't deserve it, right? John Morant, young star, like he getting it in. Memphis done been to the playoffs in his second and third year, and a lot of people believe, I don't believe they would have beat Golden State had he stayed healthy, but like we saw that with him healthy, they're very competitive, right? So they look like a young up and coming team with him leading the way. Who else did you name? Devin Booker was just in the NBA Finals last year, right? Like all of these guys that you name getting these max deals, even Darius Garland, right? Colin Sexton goes out this year, and Darius Garland leaves that. Like Cleveland is looking like legit last year, right? Mm-hmm. So I got no problems with all these guys getting their money, except for Bradley Beal, right? Like I don't know. What's the criteria, right? I mean, the criteria is that you gotta, to get a super max, you gotta have so many years in the league and then have accomplished so many things, right? But I'm talking like Washington's front office. You look at Bradley Beal and thought to yourself, "This is the guy we want to give all this money to for what? What has it got in your franchise, right? Like you were supposed to build around him and Wall a few years back, and then they drafted Otto Porter. They had all this talent come through there, right? And then John Wall goes down, and now Bradley Beal's your guy. And what has that gotten you? Nothing. What makes him a super max guy? I don't get it.
Right. And see, like my only thing was I had some skepticism about Darius Garland getting it. And the only reason I said that is because he's so young and because he's had maybe just kind of 1 year where we saw him take over and be that guy. And I just want to see what he's done more. Like I've seen John Morant go from a guy who came in with all of the promise in the world as a second overall pick, and he's pretty much built on that hype, right? And came in and And arguably, if he doesn't miss the time that he missed last year, you can argue he could have been in the MVP talks as well. So it was one of those situations where I don't blame. I mean, like I said, I don't disagree with him getting his money. It's just with Darius Garland, I want to see, what he can do with those Cleveland Cavaliers, because for a while there, they was like the fourth or fifth seed, in
all
the
year,
East for a while,
all year.
right?
Yeah, they was
So
in that mix.
and we gonna get to that though. We gonna get to talking about that. Next topic, man. Next halftime adjustment, man. Man, what's Miami doing, man? They sent a contingency. These ain't my words. This they words. They sent a contingency to go get my man UD to come back for another year. What you feeling about that right now?
Bro cannot mean that much in the locker room. Like there's no way that his presence means this much. I don't understand why they won't just go ahead and cut this man, put him in a suit and put him on the bench, right? Like go ahead, give him the Juwan Howard treatment, because that's what Juwan did. He went from the 12th guy on the bench, veteran. Next thing you know, he's on the coaching staff. That's what James Jones did, right? Went from guy on the bench, coaching staff. Now he's a GM doing great things, right?
Great things.
Don't put this man in a suit, bro. Put this listen. I don't get it, man. Like he can't mean that much, bro. I don't know if it's at this point. It's kind of like it's almost like a running joke, like Udonis Haslem's coming back for another year. That man ain't played 50 minutes in the last 3 years. Like
and I see that, right? And I'm like, but then I look at it. And because we were talking about this, shout out to Ashley Baker in Sports After Dark. She couple people brought it up in there, and they were talking about it. And like I told them, I said, man, like you got to look at Udonis Haslem has been there throughout Miami's ups and their downs. He was there with the championship team back in 06 with Dwayne Wade and Shaq. Then he comes in, he still stays there. He was an integral part for the first championship, 2 championship runs in trips with LeBron James and the Big Three. And then he kind of phased off and, kind of tailed off into what you said now. Like he's just a guy, 12th guy on the bench who picks fights with Jimmy Butler on the sideline. But it's one of those situations where, do I think he was that important to send a contingency to his house and say, hey, man, we need you to sign this contract to come back for another year? No. But is he that important to that Miami franchise where he's one of those guys who maybe you say, he's a cornerstone piece of the franchise. He built this. You can honestly say he built this franchise, and he was there for the major success. So I don't think you should have sent
You should be ashamed of yourself, man.
I don't think he's a contingency. You send front office men and players to the house and say, hey man, we need you to come. But I don't think he's not important to the franchise either.
So I will say this much, right? Like when players get a bunch of money, we were just talking about Bradley Beal, right? I'm always like, man, you worth what people willing to pay, right? My issue then becomes with Washington, like, why would you be willing to pay that much, right? But if Miami felt he was worth sending people, man, they must feel he's that important. I just don't like, bro. I don't get it. Put that man in the suit, dog. Put him in the suit
for sure.
And the roster space.
And I get it. So, man, like that was the halftime adjustment, y'all. That was our version of quick hits, man. We finna get into these main topics, though. First thing we gonna talk about, y'all understand what it is, man. Y'all have heard the news. Y'all have heard everything that's going on, man. Kevin Durant decides he's going to demand a trade and get out of there, get out of Brooklyn while the getting is good. Man, what you got to say about your boy KD, man?
Bro, he make me sick. He make me sick. Like I'm literally tired of Kevin Durant. I'm tired of talking about Kevin Durant. I'm tired of people acting like Kevin Durant is that guy, right? Like all this talk about, I put it this way, man, since 2012, when they lost in the finals, what we thought as sports fans, as media, as whoever, we thought that for the 2010s, we were about to get the 80s, Bird and Magic. We thought KD and Brown was about to go at it for the next decade. And it never happened. Like KD was never, they wanted to crown him. They wanted him to be next. They wanted him to take the mantle and the torch from LeBron. And then he goes to Golden State and wins, and everybody starts crowning him the best. Not so fast, right? Now he goes to Brooklyn. And just last year, the whole world was saying, man, if it wasn't for, a size shoe smaller, Brooklyn might have, okay. So now you come back this year and you get swept, and now you crying again. Like this dude, man, he make me sick, bro. That's what I got to say about KD. He makes me sick.
So
and he's super talented, bro.
oh yeah, like top 15 player all time. Like and there's no question about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, my thing is when you look at a player like Kevin Durant, right? And I get a lot of flack for this. I say live up to the shoes that you built, right? That you put on, right? Like LeBron James is never going to tell you that he's not a leader, right? He's never going to say like I'm not part of. I don't sign off on things, or I don't. He knows what he is. LeBron James comes to your franchise, he signs off on certain moves, certain players getting, coming to the team, leaving the team, or whatever. He's never going to tell you that the front office is completely at fault. Kevin Durant in his camp, his word said there was no leadership in that front office. Like he's not a part of the leadership. Like you're not, like you're the star player, bro. You're the superstar. You're the big draw. You're the box office guy. Like how are you gonna just put it all on Josiah and Sean Marks as if you didn't ask, like you didn't say like, yeah, like I'm gonna come here with Kyrie. I want Paul Millsap. I want LA. I want DeAndre Jordan to come with us.
Yeah, they literally built the 2010s All Stars. That's what they did, right? Like they would, like you say, DeAndre Jordan, Paul Millsap, Blake Griffin, LaMarcus, every good power forward from the 2010s, right? They went and got along with Kyrie, along with James Harden, along with Patty Mills, along with Joe Hill. Oh, they had the talent. Like you gonna blame the front office? Y'all had the talent.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So, man, getting past all of we know KD is probably the most onion skinned, superstar in the league, and we know he jumped ship, and we've seen the pattern, right? But man, what are the top three teams like? We can't take back what he's done. He's requested a trade. He wants out. As you can see down here in the graphic, we got Miami Heat, we got Chicago, we got Phoenix. But he's requested, I think, to go to Miami and Phoenix, the two number one seeds from this past season, right? What are the top three teams that you think are the most realistic for Kevin Durant? Because they can't move certain players because of Ben Simmons being on the team, so they can't move or get certain players like Bam Adebayo and others. So, what are the most realistic teams for you?
Brooklyn, and Brooklyn, right? Like, so let's start here, man. Like, I took up for Kevin Durant, right? Probably because I'm a Steph guy, and it was like, hey, it helps Steph chances, right? But like, if we being for real, right? Like, everybody agreed unanimously it was one of the weakest moves by a superstar in sports history, right? To not only just go to a team, but go to the team that beat you, right? When many thought you guys right there on the doorstep, and most people believe that if OKC had got past Golden State, that they was gonna mop the floor with. That's what people think, right? I'm not in a position to say either way, but after that, where the whole world thinks you're gonna run it back, maybe now we get this. Maybe we don't get KD Bron, maybe we get KD Steph and that West duking it out, right? You say no, let's just make the league uncompetitive, right? And Steph got some blame in there too because he signed off on the hill. He went out there to the Hamptons and got him. But you, as the guy that they're courting and trying to get to come play for your team, no pride, no nothing. I don't want to run it back. No, I'm gonna make it as uncompetitive as possible. I'm one of the all-time greats. I'm gonna go to an all-time great team, and we're just gonna dominate the league. And that's what happened for 2 3/4 years, right? And most people believe that if he don't get hurt in 19, they run through Toronto too, right? Hell, they went 6 and he wasn't playing. So, okay, now we passed that, and the talk gets louder, right? That noise gets a little louder. And you're starting to get that treatment, right? That same reason that Kyrie wanted to get from under Bron, because you're never going to get your props as long as you're there. The same reason Kobe didn't want to be with Shaq, because you're never going to get your props as long as it's you and him, right? Mm-hmm. You never going to get your props because it's always going to be you join that team. Okay, I'm going to leave and do something else. I'm going to go to a team that ain't had no success in forever. I don't know if you saw what I put on Facebook. Nets went to the finals in 2003. They ain't been to a conference final since, bro.
Nope.
Not a conference finals. Right? So you go somewhere where you can change the whole narrative of that organization's history, right? Way off topic. That's why I give Chris Webber so much props. Go look at Sacramento's history and then what they did while he was there. Oh, that means something to go to an organization that's just notoriously bad, and you say, I'm a build it up from here.
Because he left the Warriors and went to Sacramento, and they blew up, right?
He left the Warriors, right? Went to the playoffs his rookie year. goes to Washington. Within 2 years, they was in
That's
playoffs.
right. That's right.
Then he goes to Sacramento. Go look up Sacramento's history.
Oh,
Five of their
I
top six
remember
winning
them. I
seasons is
remember
all
them
during
late
Z Webb
'90s.
years.
I remember them late '90s, early 2000s teams with him, Mike Bibby, and them boys up there. I remember them teams.
Yeah. So like KD had that opportunity, man. He sits out a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back year 2. That's the year with, and then they push to get James Harden. So now you got Kyrie, you got Harden, right? They go LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake, all the names we was naming, right? And
Right.
y'all are what people say again. You were a toe away from going to the conference finals. Okay, cool. So now you come running back, get swept in the first round, and you crying again.
Hey, mind you, KD blocked me on Twitter because I like immediately after that I got on Twitter and told literally added him and said, "Hey, your foot too big for you to be clutch." He blocked me.
That's hilarious, yo. Yo, that dude's so soft, man. Bro, listen.
Believe me, when I say he the most soft superstar in the league, believe me, it's not without basis. It's not without basis.
But so to your question of why I say Brooklyn, right? Well, he ain't got no leverage.
Nope.
KD got years left on his deal. You hear me? Not like, you know what I mean? Bro, you ain't got no leverage. And honestly, we're in Harden's situation when he was leaving Houston. Because I said the same thing when Harden was leaving Houston. You ain't got no leverage. Well, Harden came out there fat, out of shape, was dogging it on the court. KD too good for that. He dogging on, and then you got to think, man, like you said, KD for most people are in that top 15 range. Bro, you playing for legacy. You ain't got too many years left to be out there running back. See how it looked with him, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons, right? That defensive presence y'all was missing because y'all was atrocious on defense. Now Kyrie maybe can slide back over into that 2 spot like he was along Harden because you got a guy who just want to facilitate. Maybe Ben Simmons can operate in that offense kind of like Draymond does for Golden State, but he can score a little more, right?
Right.
And he's pedal to the metal. He can get y'all some fast. Anyway, whatever. The offense might look better with Ben Simmons. If I'm Brooklyn, we running it back, bro. You ain't got no leverage on us. What I'm trading you for? So somebody got to offer me a package that I can't turn down.
Right. So, and I agree with that, right? So my thing is my top 3 teams, right, are the ones that I have listed here, but -1, right? Like I say Miami, I can see him in Miami, but they can't trade, they can't give the pieces that he should get, right? You're not going to get the package that you're looking for. You're not going to get the historic trade package. You're not going to get that from Phoenix either. To me, Toronto would be the least pie in the sky, most realistic team for KD to go to. And the reason I say that is because they can offer some pieces to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? And so I think some of the players that I got to do some more research. But when I was looking at that roster, I was like, they can offer some pieces. But to me, I agree with you. And it's odd because I have to agree with you. You stay in Brooklyn. You have no choice. You ain't got no leverage. And somebody disagreed with me on Twitter when I said this. I said the only player that they requested a trade out of Brooklyn that has leverage is Kyrie Irving. And that's because you're paying him for 1 season. He's already worth $36 million, right? You're paying him for the 1 year. And regardless, he's already walking around telling people either you trade me or I'm gone next year regardless. So he's the only one that's got leverage. KD, you ain't got no leverage. You got 4 years left. They paid you $200 million. They gave you a 5-year extension for $200+ million. They let you sit on the bench with a torn Achilles, waited for you to come back. And then the last 2 seasons, you was out in the Eastern Conference Finals, and you was out, and you got swept this year.
No. He wasn't out in the East. He was out in the second round. He didn't make
out in the second round. Okay, so you was out in the second round. And then you got swept. You were the only team. It wasn't that other teams got swept. You was the only team that didn't win a playoff game this year. The only team in the playoffs that didn't win a game.
In the whole playoffs, right?
Yeah, right.
Because Denver got a game against Golden State. Yeah.
Right. And you were a powerhouse. Like it would be different if you were
they was the favorites coming into the year.
Yeah. You was the long shots. Yeah. No, it was LA, the Clippers, and the Brooklyn Nets. You were the top 3 odds.
Bro, this dude really, like, imagine you're Kevin Durant and they go, anybody you might want to go play for? And you say, yeah, the 2 teams with the best records in their conference. Right. Like, yo, this dude, man. Oh, God.
So we're going to get to the final question with KD, man. Does that hurt his legacy?
Yes, absolutely. And you know what's crazy? 30 years from now, it won't matter. 40 years from now, it won't matter. Right? Like and Rant, I didn't think of this. You sent me the script, but I didn't think of this until just now. There's a guy and I did a hot take on this, right? Where
Mhm.
Dr. J came out and was saying LeBron created super teams. And I did a hot take saying not so fast, because if my memory serves me correct, Dr. J lost in the NBA Finals twice. You know, like 79 and 81 or something like that, right? Lost in the finals twice. I could be wrong on the years, but it was late 70s, early 80s. Philly
It was the
lost in the
early
finals
80s.
twice.
It was the
It might have
early
been
80s.
80 and 82. It
Yeah,
might
it
have
was
been
the early
80 and
80s.
82.
Because I
Right?
think Moses Malone won the MVP in Houston and then comes and joins them to win the
Right.
finals.
So you're going to tell me, like Moses Malone did the KD before KD, right? Moses Malone was the league MVP and went and joined the team that was just in the NBA Finals. And then what they do? They won the NBA championship. Like, nobody ever talks about that. Like, because, again, we so far removed from it. All we know is history books say Moses Malone got 3 MVPs, Finals MVP, 1 championship, the infamous 4-4-4, where they went through the play. He called 4-4-4 and they lost 1 game, right?
Right.
So 40 years from now, nobody's going to talk about it. But right now, our era, our generation, me, you, right? Our guy, the guys we was with down at, the symposium, we going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the fact that really his whole legacy now is, because you're playing for championships, he had to go to Golden State to win, right? And for anybody that ever said, oh, Steph needed him, right? Golden State needed him. And you go, what about 2015? The first thing they say is, Kyrie and Love was hurt. Okay, now that Steph done won another one,
It's kind of the same thing, and it's kind of the same thing. Like I said, like I was telling somebody this, it was kind of the thing with Kobe, right? But Kobe got drafted to his situation. People was like, well, Kobe couldn't win without Shaq. Kobe can't win without Shaq. Once Kobe went and won 2 more, like without Shaq, Shaq went to Miami, won that 1 more. Kobe said, okay, hold my beer, won 2 more without Shaq. And after that, it was nothing left that you could say that Kobe needed Shaq, because it was like, well, Kobe also did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, you could say, like, well, Kobe won 5, right? And he did it without Shaq twice, back to back.
And
so
there are still haters out there that when you say Kobe got 5, they go, yeah, Shaq for 3 of them. He's the only player people do that with. But
right. But I'm like, with
getting that treatment.
KD had that opportunity to go to Brooklyn and say, hey, I drove my bus. And now he's coughing that up. But hey, that's just me. But man, we sticking with the Brooklyn Nets. It's a burning bush, man. It's a burning bush. You know what I'm saying? It's a dumpster fire. It don't smell good. Kyrie Irving is up there. Kyrie Irving decides I want out. You know what I mean? He was on the podcast. He did the media tour with Shady McCoy, and Shady McCoy asked him, man, what happens if you and Bron stay together? And he said, man, I don't know, man. I might be back in LA. I might be in LA, man. You know what I mean? What's going on, man? Do you foresee, and not just take your fandom out of it? You're the sports reporter without pay right now. You're unbiased. Do you see a Bron and Kyrie reunion being the thing that could happen?
No. And it's not, hell, I would love it, right? I'm on record as saying, bro, Kyrie, I think he's one of the more underappreciated, misunderstood. It's becoming to the point he's underrated as a player, right? Because the narrative that follows him is, oh, he couldn't do this without Bron. Like, even the idea that, what did he do before Bron? It's like, well, he was a 19-year-old kid playing a point guard position, playing 11 games in college and drafted to a bad team and had 3 years, and then comes Bron, and people go, what did he do before Bron? He did the same thing most number 1 picks do. They struggle their first couple of years. Go look at what Seattle did with KD his rookie year. Go look at Bron missing the playoffs his first 2 years, right? Look at John Wall in Washington first couple of years. Like, when you're number 1 pick, you're going to be bad for a few years, right? Like, that's just what it is. So, like, I think Kyrie is super talented. But I don't see him coming to LA. Although, how ironic would it be that if there was a trade that gave us Kyrie and Bron and Russ and KD back together? That would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That's the problem right there. Is like, if I'm Sean Marks, right? I look across there and there's nothing LA can offer me outside of Anthony Davis. Period. Like, if you call me and the conversation don't start with Anthony Davis, hang up the phone, right? Like, it's just that simple. Because, right, especially if we go back, this is 2-part now. If we go back to my conversation about, I'm running it back with Kevin Durant. So I'm going with KD and Ben Simmons, and I want to get rid of Kyrie. Well, I ain't getting rid of him for Taylor Horton Tucker. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it has to be something intriguing to me. And Russ ain't it. I can't play Russ and Ben Simmons together. Can't neither one of them shoot. In this league, you got to have spaces. So you got to have KD on the floor with Ben Simmons, right? Joe Harris going to create space. Whoever else is out on that floor got to be somebody else that can create space. You can't have Ben Simmons and another non-shooter. We saw Russ in Houston, and they had to trade away everybody that couldn't shoot. They got rid of Clint Capella and played a whole lineup of 6-7 people just to create space for Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, man, they was playing PJ Tucker at the center. That was crazy.
Right? So now, if I'm giving up Kyrie Irving, it got to be worth my while. Conversation got to start with Anthony Davis. Just that simple.
So here's my pushback. Here's my pushback, Ray. Here's my pushback on that. Joe Tsai and Sean Marks, Joe Tsai in particular, is fed up with both Kevin Durant and Kyrie, and most notably Kyrie. So Joe Tsai came out and said he would rather have a team that he's proud to own that wins 40 games than a team that has way more talent that he's not proud to be a part of, right?
People say that.
So here's the thing. When the owner comes out and says, I'd rather be a 7-8 seed, possibly miss the playoffs in the East, than have arguably a top 15 guy who can possibly sneak into the top 10 if he gets his act together.
No,
and one of the perennial talents that we've seen in our league at the guard position of his era, in Kyrie Irving. I'd rather get rid of both of them and be barely scraping in the play-in games in the East than have you two. Like, do I believe that?
Mm-hmm.
No. Do I believe that? No. But do I believe that Joe Tsai is fed up with the antics?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right? Like, yes. He has two of the most, you talking about some divas, man. KD soft. He got to respond to everybody on Twitter, burner accounts. Kyrie is Kyrie. The earth is flat. All this craziness with him, man. But like, he's supposed to say that. That's a message really to them. That wasn't meant for the fans and the media. That was meant for them. Basically telling them, y'all being some jerks, right? Like, I would rather not. They still wearing Brooklyn uniforms, ain't they?
Right. And so that's my thing, right? Like, I was telling people, I said, like, Kyrie is probably, like I said, that's why I say Kyrie has the most leverage on Brooklyn because of the simple fact, even if he's running a Brooklyn uniform for this year, Russ falls off, next year for the Lakers. You can bring, you possibly can bring Kyrie in anyway if he really wants to come to LA. If that's really something that he's like, I want to go play with Bron, why not? Right. And at this point, it's looking like, even though they're not pressing the issue, it looks like the Lakers are really the only ones that are even interested. And Bron has been beating the table for the man. So we'll see how that goes.
Neither one of them should want that. Ain't none of these jokers got no pride. You cried and wanted to leave Bron. And then if I'm Bron, you cried and wanted to leave me. Ain't no, hey, we don't break up to make up, dog. Like,
and supposedly they buried the hatchet and they've rekindled the friendship that they had. But man, we've talked about Kevin Durant, we've talked about Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets. But let's just say hypothetically they get traded before opening week of the NBA season.
I could wait to get to this.
Who's the new beast out east, man?
Can I ask you a question? What you mean by new?
So what I mean by, like, who becomes the new odds on Vegas?
Vegas? See, that new is doing something to my spirit, and I'm gonna tell you why.
I knew it would tick you off. That's why I
Because we're saying new, and it implies, like, we're saying if Brooklyn breaks up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who then becomes? Brooklyn ain't been like what we talking like. Brooklyn don't play no factor in this. Them two dudes you see right there on the screen, they was the ones representing the East in the finals the last 2 years. And the dude all the way to the left might have been the best player in the NBA last year. Best player is a stretch. I think he deserved MVP, right? I think Steph Curry's the best player in the world. But to me, a healthy Milwaukee is still the team to beat. That's just what I believe. And I believe Boston ain't going nowhere. And it's funny you have these three teams up, man. I genuinely believe that James Harden comes back healthy and with a vengeance this year. Like, I believe in James Harden more than a lot of people, and I genuinely believe that a healthy James Harden and a healthy Joel Embiid that's a force to be reckoned with, man.
For sure.
Tobias Harris, very quietly, top 10 third options in the league, right? Like we talking your third best player. A lot of teams don't have a third player as good as Tobias Harris. So I
A lot
like
of teams
Philly.
don't have a fourth player that's as good as some of the guys they got coming. Like
Yeah,
Tyrese Maxey
I was just about to
is
say, a lot of
solid,
people would say Tobias Harris is slid fourth now because Maxey done showed the world he coming or he
right?
here.
And he's
So
solid. He's solid too.
he
He's
real
solid.
solid, man. But again, man, I think a healthy Milwaukee team, man, is still they're the team to beat, man, because Giannis is in fact the best player in the conference, right? Again, that doesn't take away from me saying Joel Embiid this past season was the most, like, he, to me, this
To me,
season.
Joel Embiid was the MVP. I don't think Jokic should have got it. To me, Joel Embiid was the MVP.
I
But
agree 1000%, right?
so
But
I'm gonna pop this graphic up here real quick, Ray.
okay.
So when you look at this graphic, right, you can see it on your screen. I hope. Can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just threw this together before we got on air. And
Leave
I
it up.
said, right. And I said, this is how I see, this is the halftime show, Courtlandt Griffin's halftime show of predictions for the standings for the 2022-23 season, right? The number one seed, I think, is going to be Boston. I think adding Malcolm Brogdon was huge, right? I think Milwaukee comes back with a healthy Chris Middleton and shows like, hey, we still the top of the class when it comes to the Eastern Conference. I think Miami edges out and comes to 3 seed. Philadelphia, I agree. I think they are going to be formidable. I still think they're going to be a 4 seed though. I think Cleveland and that young core comes in and they actually show that, hey, we can sustain the success that you saw in the first half of the year, and they stay with the 5. I think Chicago, kind of comes back to the party. Like, I hope they do better, but I see them as a 6 seed. Charlotte at 7, Toronto at 8. I just think Toronto's a little young, but they still talented. Indiana with Halliburton and Miles Turner, I think they 9 seed in the play in, and I think the Atlanta Hawks is, even though they just added your boy.
And the move that made no sense. Yeah.
The move that made, like, you're right. The move that made no sense. I still think, like, I think that they into the play in at 10 seed. So
Now, this is predicated on Brooklyn falling apart, correct?
this is predicated on Brooklyn falling apart. This is predicated strictly on Brooklyn falling apart. So my question is like, what do you have any pushback on that, like on those predictions? And if you had to shuffle any teams, who would you shuffle?
I mean, I could sit there and nitpick, but the reality is this, man. If you look at last season, right, in the East, it was a juggling act, man, all the way to the end, right? Those top 5 teams were within like 2 games of each other all year. And we talking Milwaukee, we talking Philly, we talking Boston, we talking Miami. Something we didn't mention, man, we was talking Philly. I think a very underrated sneaky pickup was PJ going to Philly.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to my guy Tuck Tucker if he watching. That's his brother, man. But yeah, man, it's kind of, I tell people when we argue in top 10 sometimes, man, it's like, bro, thousands of people has played this game and we get bent out of shape over one guy having a guy 3rd and another guy having them 6. It's like, bro, you in the top 6 out of everybody that's ever played, right? Like, same thing with these standards, bro. It's like, yo, like, if you have a team 2nd that I would have had 4th, it's like, whatever. Like, because I think they're going to be that close. I don't think any team is going to just, unless a team like starts really hot, right? And then at that point, they get that momentum and now they're gunning for it. They're playing to try to, but other than that, man, like, I think the East standings are going to be very tight like they were last year. I think you have the right 4 teams at the top, being those 3 guys we see on the screen. The disrespect to Jimmy Butler is insane for not having him in that picture. But, I'm not even a Jimmy Butler fan, but he showed me in these last playoffs, bro.
I just put the 3 guys that I felt like was
I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I no major issues with what you had up there. You said Toronto is young, man. That's a seasoned veteran team. Like Scotty Barnes is young, but you still got OG Anunoby, you still got Pascal Siakam, you still got Fred VanVleet. Like
When I
those
say
guys,
young, I mean they not 10-year, 12-year guys. You know what I mean? They
yeah,
still
by that
they
metric,
still in
they're
the front
young.
half of their career. Yeah.
Toronto is one of those teams, man. It's like they just play hard all the time, right? And it's like last year, I didn't expect them to even be in the mix, and there they were. So yeah, I got no issues with what you had, man. I think Atlanta will disappoint again. I like that you had them in the play in because that's about where I see them. But they could sneak in one of those final spots with the likes of Charlotte or something like that. Charlotte, Toronto, Atlanta. I could see those guys there. So yeah, I like what you did there. I might
Now,
have had to order different, but no major heartburn with
now
me.
of the younger teams, right? Because I got the Cavs in there, of course. I got the Hornets in there, and I think the Pacers are going to be actually a really good team. Like a lot of people don't think that Tyrese Halliburton is that dude. I'm like, did y'all not see what this man is able to do? He like Malcolm Brogdon held him back last year. He's going to become something. Like there's a reason why there's a reason why in Sacramento they was arguing whether or not to trade De'Aaron Fox and keep him, but they ended up, I don't know why they would.
No,
They ended up trading him. But I think him and Miles Turner, building that team around him is a good thing. And if you can keep Miles Turner there and get him to play up to his potential, I mean, I think Indiana could be actually solid. But like of those young teams, the Cavs, the Hornets, the Pacers, who would you say is going to give you like who would you say is going to come in and going to say like people going to say, oh, they've arrived.
Cavs, Cavs, only because of how they win basketball games, right? They went out last year and did something different. They said, "While the whole world is playing small, right? We're gonna put 3 7-footers out here, and you're gonna have to deal with it. We're gonna put Jared Allen out here. We're gonna put Evan Mobley, and we're gonna put Larry Markkinen out here. You got to deal with it. And on offense, we're gonna let Darius Garland do his thing. And now when Colin Sexton comes back, hell, he's actually an asset at this point because now you just paid Darius Garland and we saw what he can do. I think a year together again, that team may surprise some people. I would like to see them go fetch some more wings. You need some wings in this league, but the reason you need wings is because the league is wide open and it's pick and roll basketball, and you got to be able to defend in space. Mobley can do that, right? So you can kind of get away with
Evan
him
Mobley's a
and Allen up there
scary.
together.
Yeah, Evan Mobley is scary. Like he's
Exactly.
scary.
So I think Cleveland will be a lot better this year if Mobley can continue to develop on the offensive side. That'll be huge for him and them. So Cleveland, out of the guys you name, especially Charlotte would have came to my mind, but what's going on with Bridges? Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad, man. I don't even want to talk about that because that's disappointing. But like, I really feel like I agree with you. I think Cleveland, because of what Darius Garland brings to the table, Evan Mobley to me showed that he can be everything we thought he was going to be and some. Like
Yeah.
he's a he is an anomaly, man. Like to be what 7'1", 7'1", and like can be
Bro,
able to move
athletic too, man.
and can move
Yeah.
like that, can be a rim protector, can be a help side defender, can play in space, can shoot the ball, can get his own offense. Like,
Bro, different for sure.
yeah, he's different. He's scary when he has the ball. Like the first thing I saw when I can't remember who was against, but he blocked the shot, snatched it up, plucked it out the air, and took off. Like, and it's down the court with a slam. I'm like, you don't see dudes who 7 foot that do that on a regular basis. Like that dude is ridiculous. So I don't disagree with you. I think the Cavs are that team. I think Evan Mobley is the future. I think Evan Mobley is what people are trying to think Chet Holmgren is going to be, right? And then what's this kid? Yeah, I know. But the kid that's coming out of France next year, Wimbenyama, Yama, or whatever his
Yeah.
name is,
Yeah.
I think Wimbenyama can be what Evan Mobley is turning into. I think he's the guy that they think Chet Holmgren is going to be. But right now, Evan Mobley is the future of what this NBA can be. I'm long. I'm 7 foot. I can do it all. And if you give me a guy who can like give me some guys around me, I can lead you if you let me. And then you got Darius Garland, who's of course one of the. I saw him play at Vanderbilt when he was here at Vandy in Nashville. The thing with Darius Garland is he's so sweet with the ball, man. Like he's so sweet, and he never makes a bad decision with the ball. He's always going to put his guys in place to score, and then he can also get his own. So I don't disagree with you. I do have some hope because I'm a Melo fan. I really like that kid, man. I
Oh
really
no,
do.
Melo
Like,
can hoop, man.
oh,
Melo
I
can hoop.
really, yeah,
That's
I
that's
really
why
like
it
Melo.
when you mention, Tyrese Halliburton and leading his team, right? Tyrese Halliburton might not be top 5 young guards in the Eastern Conference, bro.
No, I mean, I'm not going to give him that kind of praise. When I say with Tyrese Halliburton, when I saw him come into Sacramento and what he was able to do,
No,
right?
bro can hoop.
Yeah,
He
he
can
can
flat out
hoop.
hoop. You know what I'm saying? But man, the league
Because I
just
think
flooded
what
with
he
talent,
was,
man.
I want to say that Tyrese Halliburton was like 19 and something this past year. I'm
I
gonna
don't know
look
if it
it
was
up.
that high because he was doing a lot of facilitating. And then when Fox went out, they put the ball in his hands and let him do his thing. I'm just simply saying when you talk about a young guard leading a team in that Eastern Conference, man, think about the guys we talking about like Darius Garland, like
So
LaMelo Ball. You got two
right,
of them on the same team in
he
Atlanta.
was he was 17. So Tyrese Halliburton was 17, 17.5, 9.6 last year in Indiana, right?
So
So
here's my beef with Indiana, and you can
mm,
take this wherever you want to. Just
go ahead.
think about this. Last season, Lance Stevenson was playing meaningful minutes, bro. That's how bad that team is. Lance Stevenson was playing meaningful minutes, Joe. Like they're horrible, man.
You
They're
know what I like
horrible.
in that too? You know what I like in that too? I like in that to Carolina bringing Cam Newton back for a minute. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, it was like, I'm back here because like Lance Stevenson had that one little like flash in the pan where he kind of looked like the old Pacers
Yeah, but he had like a
Stevenson.
2 3 game stretch. It was like he had 30 points one game,
Yeah,
then
like,
15 assists the next. He was like, what?
and it was like,
And I
I'm
picked him up in
back.
fantasy, and he was trash.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, man.
back. And it was
He
like,
Cam
nah,
Newton
bro.
us.
Yeah, yeah,
Remember
so yeah,
Cam
that's
Newton
what I'm
came
saying.
back a few touchdowns and he was trash the
Yeah,
rest of the season? Yeah,
right. So that's why I
yeah.
was saying something. But like Tyrese Halliburton was behind Malcolm Brogdon, and he was behind that. Like he was behind Lance Stevenson and Malcolm Brogdon, but he still put up 17, almost 18 and 10 almost. So like when I look at him, I'm like, man, if you build around this kid and you really put him in a situation where he can actually be the guy on
I
this
got
team,
I gotta
I,
look at
I
this now because you said it. I wonder out of that season, I wonder what he was in Indy. Like I want. Oh,
that's what he was in
that was
Indy.
Indy. That was his
That was
18.
Indy.
He was 18 and 10, bruh.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was
Yeah, but you said he
17.5
was
and
behind him. He was starting this whole time in Indy, though. You
yeah,
gotta think
17.
Brogdon was in and out the lineup.
He was 17. Yeah, that's what I said. 17.5, 9.6. And in Sacramento, he was 14.3 and
Yeah,
7.4. So
yeah.
like
So I don't
I
think
could
Brogdon was holding him back at all.
so I mean when I say that he was in a loaded when I say that he was in a loaded guard room, now he is the guy. He is the lead guard. So he doesn't have to share minutes with anybody. He's going to be the lead point guard, the lead man. And then I think if I had to give him projection for Malcolm Brogdon, I say he'd be somewhere between 19 and 11. Like 19 and 11, I would say if you want to go high low, I say like between 18 and 21 a game points wise. I would say between 9 and 12
We talking about
assist
Halliburton,
wise.
right? Halliburton.
Halliburton.
I can see
I would
that.
say between 18 and 21.
I can see him walking on 20 and 10. I can see it.
Yeah.
That ain't that
And
ain't crazy.
and when you look at what you like you said, would I say he's a top 5 young guard in the East? No, the East is stacked with I mean the East is ridiculously stacked with guards. So I'm not going to say that he's going to be a top 5 young guard, but what I say he going to give them dudes hell. Like he going to give Trey Young business. He's going to give Darius Garland business. He's going to give LaMelo business. Like he's not somebody that you can just walk on the court and be like, I'm gonna run all over him. No,
No,
he's going to
pro
give
hoop,
you yeah,
pro
he's going
hoop.
to
He
give you
like
those
that.
problems. So,
Him and that ugly shot.
hey, it's ugly, but it worked for him. So,
Remind me of
but
Kevin Martin, man.
hey, Kevin Martin had the
I don't know what you call that he had, but he had
but it
it. You know
was
what I mean?
hey, but it worked on 2K for a long time. I was killing people with it. But 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 man, hey, you know what, Ray, man, I appreciate you for coming on the show, boss. Man, you got any closing remarks?
So I said this on the sports arena last night, and I'll say it again here. Um, y'all gonna have to start putting some respect on 30's name, bruh. He is changing the landscape of the NBA. I reiterate, Steph Curry won a chip in 15, ain't left Golden State. He done been to 6 finals, got 4 championships. And you can say with KD's help however you want to. All I know is the rest of the stars in the league are all ripping and running from place to place trying to win. I said it last night. LeBron is on his third team. Well, since Curry won, LeBron is on his second team. KD's on his third team. James Harden on his third team. Russ is on his fourth team. Kyrie's on his third team. Kawhi's on his third team. Paul George's on his third team. Like, all the stars in the league are ripping running all over the place. Meanwhile, 30 just sitting back steadily having success. Hey, put some respect on that man's name, dog. He and did this to the NBA.
I can't contend with it. Steph has done. I ain't even gonna call him Steph. I think he deserves it. Wardell has completely shown me that I put my foot in my mouth because I said the man would never win another one, and he did. So I told people this when Clay went down, Dre had missed all that time, and Steph was, I think, in the MVP talks, and I think the Warriors were like the Warriors were like the ninth seed or something like that, 10th seed, something like that.
You know the interesting thing about that? Go look at the record when he missed time. They was 4 or 5-ish.
Yeah.
He missed time. They went like 1-9 or 1-10 while he was out.
So my thing is, I told people then, I said, watch out for what Steph is going to do the second half of his career. I said, because he finally sees what LeBron James had to do for so long in Cleveland. Like, he finally sees, like, man, when you had to put that weight on your shoulders and say, like, man, I got to do it. Like, and that's not a knock on him.
LeBron fans make me sick.
No, I mean, this is not me trying to big up LeBron. This is me saying Steph answered the call. People say he can't carry. He can't do it. No, he's not built like that. The man got in the gym. The man got bigger. And like, when that's relative to his size, he's 6'3", but 195 pounds.
But he's always done that, right? Like people create these narratives, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you would think Klay Thompson was. Go look at the 2015 finals. They won a championship, correct? Who's the number 2 on that team? Klay Thompson, right?
Right.
What do you do? What do you do in games 3, 4, 5, and 6?
Nothing.
Yeah, 12. I think it was like 12, 15, 9, 14, and 5.
Yeah.
Right?
It was crazy. Yeah.
Like, Steph been doing this. If you go look, they won that championship. He averaged 26. Nobody else was averaging 20. So, Bron ain't did that. Bron ain't won no championship without nobody averaging. You know what I mean? Like, he's always had that second star. Anyway, that's neither here or there.
Man, so can you tell them where they can find you, man?
Yeah, man, listen, y'all see it. Sports Reporter Without Pay, Facebook page, SRWOP, YouTube, SRWOP, Twitter, SRWOP1. I don't even be on Twitter like that, so you can go on there. You ain't going to find nothing from me. And you can catch me every Monday and Wednesday night on the Sports Arena. We live on Facebook, up under the Sideline Sports. That's me, Eric Wilson, Mike Cartenuto, Megan Price, John Sheeran, Tyree. We be getting it in. Courtlandt be in the comments. And Courtlandt is making his first appearance on the Sports Arena.
I'll be there Monday, man.
He had a whole like little prompt for you last night. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, like, hold on. I don't even get that kind of treatment. But y'all see what it is, man. I had to show my boys some support. Some love. Man. Hey, bro, listen.
I appreciate it.
I mean everything I've said to you, man. You got greatness in you, man. Keep doing your thing. Y'all make sure y'all keep tuning in to the halftime show with my boy Courtlandt Griffin. I can't even say it like him when he say best in the nation. I can't even say it like him. Tell him.
Shout out to my boy. Hey, shout out to my man Travis, man. R.I.P. man. Rest in peace to him. TSU, he was a TSU running back, man. There's much love to him. So that wasn't my thing. I just do that as a homage to him. But man, hey, stick around real quick, Ray Lynn, for this pep talk, man, because we finna talk to Kevin Durant real quick, man. But stick around, we're gonna come back to you in just a second. So y'all know what it is. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's time for that pep talk, man. Kevin Durant, come step in my office. Man, when I see a player of your caliber, Kevin, top 15 guy, 7-footer, can score, put it between the legs, behind the back, hit it from 34, 35, kill you from mid-range, do it at the basket. You got all the talent in the world. I don't know what to say to you to get you to understand your greatness. You say all you want to do is play basketball. Well, go play basketball. That's what they pay you for. $200 million player. There's no question about your legacy. There's no question about the kind of talent that you have in that body, the kind of generational talent that you are. Man, stay in Brooklyn, man. Make something happen. Bring some magic to that city because that's what you were there for, right? You left OKC when y'all were riding high. You said you couldn't do it with Russell Westbrook. Then you went to Golden State after they begged you to come, right? And you said that you didn't have the same adoration and the same love that Steph was getting, right? You let Draymond Green call you a B to your face and tell you, man, we don't need you. Then you went and got with your best friend and Kyrie and went to the Nets. Now you're trying to get out. I implore you, from Courtlandt Griffin, right? I implore you to stay in Brooklyn and make something happen. BKD, Easy Money Sniper, right? The Slim Reaper, bring that dude back. Be that guy. Show us that you can do it without any help. Show us that you can do it just off of your shoulders alone, off of your talent alone. Get with it or get lost, man. It's easy. That's what you said. You called yourself Easy Money Sniper. We didn't. All right, KD. And also unblock me on Twitter, man. It was just a joke. Get over it. And that was the pep talk, man. That was the pep talk from Courtlandt Griffin, man, on the halftime show. Y'all know how we do, man. We always bring y'all the same these sports nonsense, man. The sports talk. Man, again, my man, sports reporter without pay, Lynn, man. I appreciate you for following through, man, coming in, showing your boy some love and making an appearance on the show, man. It ain't always we get superstars on the show, man.
Look at this guy. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, bro.
But then, hey, that's been the halftime show with your boy Courtlandt Griffin, man. You can find me on the 3-point conversion where you can find all my hot takes, sports takes, articles. Also, follow me on Twitter at DC Griffey. This will be on there. I go live on there with this show. You know what I mean? It's on Facebook Live. Also, if you follow my YouTube, Courtlandt Griffin, right? Type in the halftime show or hashtag HT with CG, right? Type in hashtag HT with CG. I'm the only one using that hashtag, man. Put y'all takes in there and I will reply to you. I will share them, and you can argue with me all day. You can pack me up if you can. I doubt you can, but you can try it if you want to. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm always up for debate. Also, again, man, y'all go shout out to my guy Lynn, man. Go follow him, man. Friend, like I don't know if he accept your friend request, but you know what I mean. Send him one because he always talking something. He knows his stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna think outside the box. He does a lot of that good stuff, man. He's gonna argue with you. And I doubt you can beat him. You know what I'm saying? So y'all go follow him up, man. His YouTube, he posts a lot of dope videos on his YouTube channel as well, man. Follow him on the Sports Arena as well. Catch them boys, I think, which I do it every Monday.
Mondays and Wednesdays, 10 o'clock.
Mondays and Wednesdays. So yeah, follow them on Mondays and Wednesdays. But again, man, y'all meet me here between Wednesday and Thursday. You know what I'm saying? I'll put the preview videos out so y'all know which day to catch me, man. This has been the halftime show with your boy Courtlandt Griffin. I'm the best in the nation. Peace.